We're live now. I can't hear you in the microphone.
Can you hear yourself?
I can't hear myself. I don't hear you.
Your gain is very low.
There you go. All right. What was? I just need to move closer to the microphone. So, in the great words of Jessica Taylor,
Eat
the microphone. Essentially. So.
Ange says we're echoing.
We're echoing. Of course, there's technical problems. Hold on. Hello? Let's see if it talks. I'm not getting an echo. The stream isn't getting an echo. Am I getting an echo? Is anyone hearing me echoing?
Or am I echoing?
Anyways. Let me listen. Go ahead and talk, honey.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. She had 2 windows of us up. That would break the system. It definitely would.
If you think we're echoing, you may have 2 windows open. Public service announcement.
You're also speakering out loud over there.
I'm going to fix it. I fixed it. Cool. All right. So we are now live.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to auction day.
Well, we're gonna call this a pledge day.
Pledge day. Okay. To pledge day, should I update the title of the stream?
Yeah, because the auction's been moved to tomorrow.
What?
You moved the auction to tomorrow.
Who did?
You did. I made the executive decision.
That's right.
You moved it.
Okay. So we want to kind of explain what's going on.
So, Imagifund is launching our very first campaign. It is live now at imagifund.com. That's imagifund.com. What is Imagifund? Real quick for you. Imagifund is a generosity engine. It's a platform that allows you to pledge towards items in a campaign. You have different amounts that you can pledge towards it, and you get points based on your pledge. You can convert those points to bids to use in the auction for that item. Only the people that have pledged on that campaign get to participate in the live auction. Now, this is not your normal auction. This is a gamified, just fun auction at that point, because all of the payment is separated from the auction. There's a small amount that just allows the winner to pay like a fraction for taxes and paperwork and stuff, but it's very, very minimal. And you use your bids whenever you choose. You can hold on to them until you think it's going to be the very end of the competition, or you can burn through them really quick to sort of use up other people or encourage other people to use up theirs. And every bid resets the timer to 10 seconds. And when the timer runs from 10 seconds to 0 seconds and no one else has bid, that last bid is the winner. They get the prize. Now, how is this a generosity engine? Because right now it just sounds like a different way to win a prize. Well, with pledging, there is almost always overfunding. When you reach the goal, the likelihood that the campaign is only going to raise exactly that goal is very, very slim. So there's always going to be overage. of that overage, a significant portion goes to a cause that is tied to that campaign. So, our very first campaign is for, you're going to have to bear with me because
Would you like me to pull it up?
I'm not a sports ball person. So, just go with it. This is an NFC match on Friday, October 24th at Monday Night Brewing Garage in Atlanta, which is like an MMA fight competition thing. This is a VIP table, cage side, for 4 seats, 4 tickets. Somewhere, somehow, I remember reading that you get a set of gloves as like a memorabilia thing and maybe a picture in the ring, something like that. So it's a lot of fun. You get to see up close and personal all the people duking it out and fighting for the title. In the meantime, all of the pledges for this campaign, all of them, are going to go to our cause because we do have a sponsor. Thank you, Bissy, for sponsoring the prize for this cause or prize for this campaign. And so all of the pledges we received so far are going to go directly to the Mooney family. Normally, the pledge goal would cover the cost of the item, some minimal operating costs, and then the overage is where that donation, that contribution comes from. Let me tell you a little bit about the Mooney family. Austin Mooney is the dad. He's got a wife and 2 young kids. He's had a congenital heart defect from birth, and he's had 2 transplants, I think a heart and a lung. And he's fought for a long time. But he's losing that fight, and he's in hospice. I have had friends and family in not exactly the same situation, but in hospice, and that's that last fight. Um, while that is happening, his wife is handling everything. She's carrying everything, caring for the kids, taking care of bills, taking care of him, making all the decisions, and we want to take that load off of them. They do already have GoFundMe, but we heard about this, they had not yet met their goal. So we wanted to make sure we're adding to that. And we set all of this up. The Mooney family is connected to one of Dustin's affiliate groups, not affiliate groups, but entrepreneurial groups. And so is this NFC match. Todd Price is one of Dustin's, I don't know, colleagues, mentors, classmates,
I know him
old
since high school,
friends.
and I've
He's known
watched
him for
him.
a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't. I would say we haven't really connected like personally, but I remember him in high school. I've watched him for many years now, and he's done tremendously great things for the community, his community, our community here in Atlanta, actually. And at 40 years old, he's going into the octagon. So I can't. I kind of have to support that a little bit because,
It's an
dang,
octagon?
huh?
It's an
Octagon.
octagon?
I think it's the octagon. I might be wrong.
Well, I mean,
It's a
pentagon,
gon of some kind.
pentagon, polygon, hexagon, septagon.
Definitely not a pentagon. Pretty sure it's the octagon.
Maybe it's a septagon.
Anyways,
It's not a ring, so it's a cage.
well, they called it a ring in wrestling, but it was more of a square, so that
That's
never made
true.
sense.
Square rings would probably hurt. Just thinking out loud.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, so I know it sounds like a rush because this is, a last minute decision. We've decided to pull the trigger on our platform and put it to the test, and it is a great cause, and the package for the winner is going to be so fun. I can't wait to see who actually wins it and goes. I would love to see videos and pictures from their night. I would love to see Todd be able to maybe meet the people that win? That might be a possibility. We don't know. Um,
He's probably going to be tired.
he probably is going to be tired. This is true. But also, the Mooney family, we do want to respect their privacy. So we probably will, we definitely will share what our donation is, but we probably will not, ask for anything from them, just giving them their space. But, you know, total honesty, this is a big push for all three. You know, when is the last time you got to see up close and personal that, that tension, that fight, those literal beads of sweat streaming down people's faces? I don't know.
Well, they also have really good food there. So it's actually a pretty big event here in Atlanta. That they have artisan pizza that they make there, and they got a tap house, and basically it's a lot of fun.
I am now Googling Monday Night Brewing the garage.
But just like to reiterate, because the goal here is obviously to raise money to help. We have one more day, and we have made the decision to go ahead and push we have discussed with the pledgers that have come up, who've already pledged, they're okay with it. That we're going to push the campaign and auction to tomorrow night. And hopefully we can get some more pledges in and more people can participate but the night before the event, and we can bring more to bring in to help them.
You're right. That pizza does look really
It
good.
really does.
Can you show the pizza?
I've thought about like just getting the general admission ticket and going for the pizza and the beer. Honestly, like it looks really good.
Can you show the pizza on the screen?
I could probably find the Monday night
pictures.
Let me go look.
There's some pictures with a dinosaur skeleton. There's chandeliers. There's roller rink. It looks like. It looks like a lot of fun.
Let me go see if I can find it. But yeah.
This is in Atlanta on Lee Street. So let's see where that is. It is in the West End near Oakland.
Oakland. Why does that sound familiar?
It's the cemetery your grandfather's at.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. My grandfather's buried there. Yep. I used to go to Oakland Cemetery a lot. They do actually Halloween. They're probably doing it right now. They do a it's not like scary. It's they do this historical like kind of night where you walk around and they tell you about some of the influential people that are at the cemetery. It's actually really cool. I've been a couple of times because they do different people every year, so it's very interesting. My grandfather and grandmother were very involved in there, but yeah, that's why it popped up in my head.
Mm-hmm. It's really like impressive. So I don't. It takes your breath away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's the pizza. I'll pull that over here. It's like real pizza. I was not born in 2004, just to be clear. There we go. That looks pretty good. Have we actually? I feel like we've been near there, like actually the building.
I don't know. We should go.
Huh.
Maybe you could take me for my birthday
dinner. Just to be clear, everyone, it is my wife's birthday
today.
And if if it says anything about us, I thought first about helping, and second about how I was commandeering my wife's birthday for the event today. And then so she rescheduled everything for tomorrow, and then we rescheduled everything for tomorrow.
So I've 2 strikes. My birthday's just gone.
No, I did take. To be clear, I did take her out for dinner last night, and we did do a pre-birthday dinner. So I'm not horrible. But yeah, this is that looks really good. Anyways, so I actually haven't pulled up chat if we have anyone to ask questions from us. me see here. Doesn't look like we've had anyone
Angela
join yet.
says, welcome.
She does.
Yes, she does.
I should probably announce it on my Facebook or
We could
something.
also probably share it on Imagifund's Facebook page too.
Yeah. Team, can we do that? But so we're gonna run this for a little while. The plan was and we're gonna be doing this tomorrow, a live stream the auction and the campaign ending, and discuss it, answer questions, and be here until till the end, I guess it is.
Just to be clear, we are not streaming live until the auction tomorrow.
We're not.
No,
Oh,
I
well then
do
I just
have to get some beauty sleep because
there are streamers that do stream sleeping.
I know
Uh,
there are. That's not me.
It's not this platform. uh,
So we have had some questions in the past that are pretty common what for what we built. Now, Imagifund, you say it's a generosity engine. What does that mean to you, Dustin?
wow. You're asking the guy that dubbed it what it means to me. Wow,
Yep.
I could write an essay on what that means. And I have actually. Let me pull it
Maybe
up.
give
Hold
us
on a
the
second. Do you want to hear
abridged
the
version.
essay? I could just do like a reading. Probably not. Okay, so generosity engine. I think to sum it up, in my mind, the way that I've pictured it is that it basically creates a system that can scale an engine, um, that we put our generosity in and it just reciprocates and it builds on itself, and it allows for us to do bigger, better, greater things. So that's essentially what I look at when I think of it. And you might say, well, generosity is a very vague word, and I mean that really in every sense of the word, because every aspect of what we're doing right now is about giving. It's we're giving our time, we're giving our attention, we're giving obviously money. We've given our expertise. We're asking for people to participate in similar fashions, not just in money, time, energy, getting the word out there, all of these things. And I don't think people really realize consciously what their attention's worth, if that makes sense. Um, are you talking?
No, I'm adjusting my microphone.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Apologies. Um, but yeah, so we don't really consciously think about what our attention's worth and how powerful it is. On our last live stream, we talked about the different ways that this can scale, and so it starts very basically with sharing locally with your friends, getting the word out there, believing that the whole point of this is to help and to give back, and that is the very core of what we do. And so I'm going to actually step back a little bit for the generosity engine time machine. We actually launched under a different endeavor last a little 2023, end of 2023, and we were trying to crowdfund a house here in Atlanta. And so we did 3 or 4, I can't remember how many open houses at the time. And like the first couple, everyone was wallflowers. They were like, what do you mean you're trying to crowdfund a $500,000 house? And to be clear, we did this the best way we could, but we also definitely upset people in terms of like professionally while we were doing this. Like we were trying to, because there's no vertical, and housing is extremely litigated. So there's no like precedent for what we're doing. So all the questions came in, and so realtors showed up, brokers showed up, the real estate board showed up, and so we had a lot of questions. And so anyways, so the first two were kind of, I would say, more casual. as open houses are, is real estate wasn't casual real estate, I guess is the best way to put it. Obviously we're professional, but we made a production of it the
Non
third time.
standard,
Non-standard, yeah.
amateurs.
Amateurs. There you go. We were. But the third time we made, I believe it was the third time, we did three. We made a whole production of it. Like we bought signs, we went with the branding, we had the shirts, we had a kiosk, we had a presentation going, we had questionnaires, we did interviews, like the whole shebang. And it really struck people, I think, because we had almost, I think it was 600 and some 650, 700 people show up in a 4-hour period wanting to know how they could potentially get a house for, 20 bucks. And that's when it kind of hit us what the difference was, in terms of like what we needed to be in order for people to really see the reality of what we're trying to do.
What we can do.
What we can do. Yeah.
And
Because,
and frankly, what we will do. Like, we'll get there. We are stubborn, bullheaded ADHD people that have a very ferocious drive for optimism.
yes, very earned optimism, I would say. Um, but yeah, so that was our first glimpse at what it takes to get people to go from wallflowers to actually stepping forward and asking questions. And what that tells us is believing. Like, hey, this is when they start doing that, when somebody starts doing that, when they start leaning in to what you're saying, they actually start seeing the reality that you're trying to paint for them. And that's what we're doing here. I mean, that's kind of what led us to the naming of Imagifund. I mean, we literally can fund anything that you can imagine. And when I say we, I don't mean us here. I mean everyone. So we do it already every day. If you need anything, any proof, look at where your taxes are spent, or don't, right? Because they're probably not where you want them to be spent.
Right?
But this is a place where we're going to build a community that does give back, that does do what we want, and I mean we. So
It does follow through with what the community is asking for. I think that's what you're looking for.
yeah, yeah, it's hard to like we have systems and processes in place, and it's hard to I would say put into words what it will be, because we are very open to change. Um, as people come in, man, we've had so much feedback over the years, and we've used a lot of it. So I can only imagine as we grow and the community gets more involved. And to be like, I've built lots of online communities. Me personally, Jessica's been part of convention space, building communities. So communities evolve. Like if you ever get into the space of building communities or trying to build a community, like, and you try to be stringent and put boundaries around it, oh, buddy, you're gonna be in for a bad day. So someday, so you got to grow together, and that's what we're gonna be doing.
It takes an awful lot for um, an introvert and his wife to build something at this scale.
Yeah, that's a complete thought, everyone. So yeah, and not to say we've had loads of help. We've uh, phew, man, we've had so many people, mentors, friends, family, strangers, um, get in our corner, talk with us, tell us, give us real feedback, not the stuff that we want to hear. Lots of stuff we didn't want to hear. So that's the stuff you got to hear to really make a change. So
So, what came up? How did you come up with this idea? How did we come up with this idea?
well, again, I'm going to come right back to what's going on with the Mooney family. In my life, I've I hesitate to talk about some things, but like spirituality, right? Like I always feel like I'm in the right place at the right time, a lot of times to help people, and I think that when something reaches out to me, like this, like, it just happened to be we found out that we could start taking payments after 5 months, and then a need came up, and I was just like, I didn't have the excuse, and I'm saying excuse of we can't take payments anymore. It was gone. So it's hard to go in, at that time, I think they'd only raised a couple of $1,000 and they were going for 16. And I was like, okay, well, my whole team had no clue this was happening. My wife was at a convention.
I was.
Yeah.
I was earning all of the micro bruises that I've had this week.
Yeah. And the rest of my team, I was sitting in a call with George, our CTO. And he's like, really? We're doing this? And I said, yep, we're doing this. He goes, okay. And just us two at that moment.
Since
We're not
then,
the marketing.
Dustin
Sorry,
has
we're not the
had
marketing
his
people.
ADHD meds filled. So while we will still jump on opportunities to be able to help people, I don't know that it will be this chaotic every time. Probably many times in the future, but not every time.
So what I'll say to that is and again, I am not marketing, and anyone who knows me will I have coined a few phrases in my life recently because I'm an introvert and I don't talk to people really unless there's a purpose. But one of them is that sounds an awful lot like volunteering, which is a older phrase I would say, and the other one is that I have ADHD and forgot it.
Man, if that isn't.
I'm not a salesman and I don't do marketing, basically.
Yep.
And so.
And now you've had to become both.
Yeah, that's been my big growing point over the last 2 years is business and marketing. I know technical marketing, I know systems and processes, but there is creativity and I don't know what would the word be like what would the connection? There's a dynamic to understanding your target audience that I never had to fill. I just had to deliver, if that makes sense. So, yeah. That's where this started. Oh, your question. I scrolled.
You did. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I scrolled. So, like, what spawned or what got us to get here? I have. I'm gonna actually come all the way back to Todd Price. Todd Price. I believe it was 2018. I want to say. He paid off school lunch debt. He was doing. It may have been earlier. It may have been a little later. I can't remember the exact year. But I hadn't really talked with him at all since high school. I didn't, but I came across him, and I saw that, and I was working a 9 to 5. I had my side gigs, and I went, man, I'd love to be in a position where my primary vocation was to be able to help people like that, right? And then a couple of years went by, essentially, where I tried building. I had my side gigs, I did my main job, and there was never something like a generosity engine. Nothing that ever produced enough to really do something like that. And no one really ever, as far as I can tell, no one sets out to do that. Everyone sets out, you make money. I think the phrase is do what you're wanting, do what you don't talk, do, right? So if you want to go make a whole lot of money and then you want to spend that money to do good things with it, go make the money first. Don't talk about it. And in this case, no, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
Well, it's really difficult to push a launch for a product that is as intangible as ours. One thing that we've learned along the way from a lot of our advisors and mentors and coaches is that we are as much of the story as the story it is itself. And I'm an open book. You guys that know me, I will share every part of my life to a fault, and I will pour myself into helping others. Dustin doesn't always do that. So I'm used to speaking in front of people or doing corporate training or being on a panel at a convention or running things somewhere somehow, right? But we all have different experiences that bring to the table to allow us to have a balanced team And not all of us have that experience. But for me, it's about the humanity and it is about helping others. Most of the times that I can say that I've helped someone else, it's almost always not financial. And it's not because I haven't been able or willing to, it's just that the need in that moment is usually um, mental or emotional or just being there, physically present for somebody when they're going through something, right? Um, I have a number of those experiences that are just core memories in my heart. And how do I package that in such a way that we can repeat that again and again and again? This is an opportunity for that. How do you make a life changing experience for someone with the support of a community? This is a way to do it. We are helping each other, right? So for me, this is that path. But I know Dustin has a lot of stories. There's one today um, from where he's in the right place at the right time and someone has a need and he will give the shirt off of his back if he feels called to do it. And a lot of times it's just serendipity. Like it's it doesn't feel like there's not necessarily a god or anything like that calling, but it feels like you're drawn to that compassion and um, that desire to help somebody.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't going to say anything about that.
You don't have to talk about the one today. I do actually want you to share the one when we were driving up the West Coast. When we were driving up the West Coast, the first place we stopped for gas, because that actually does
uh,
circle back to our platform in multiple ways.
yeah,
So go ahead.
yeah. So that's actually a pretty funny one. So we went to California for a two business meetings. So we flew into LA, had the business meeting there, and then we decided that since we'd been putting off our honeymoon from December, for months and months and months and months, we decided, hey, what the hey, we're gonna rent a car and drive from LA to San Francisco, and then we're gonna drive up the West Coast after that next meeting and meet family, essentially. Anyway, so we got the
Before the
car
next meeting.
for the day. Yeah, yeah. And so we got in the car, started driving, and like we got a hotel. Next day comes around, we're driving, start to get low on gas. Um, Stop at a gas station, realize how much gas is in California. Like this was not a calculated expense for the trip. We did not realize it was like double. And so I was like, I sat down, and then we got we got upgraded because when we flew into LA, they gave us an electric car, and we're like, we're
Mm-mm.
driving up the West Coast. We don't want an electric car. We want a car.
And now we're not driving up the West Coast on like the interstate. We're driving up on
Highway 1.
Highway 1,
Right.
which is small towns and tourist, maybe tourist towns. But most of the time it's up and down through hills and there's not even cell signal.
Right. And so, anyways, they upgraded us to a like a luxury car. It was like an I don't know what it was. It was like they wanted to upgrade us to an luxury car. I said no because like insurance purposes, because I'm a practical person. But they give us an S300, which is something like a Charger or whatever. And so we pull into this gas station. I'm like, I look at the gas. I'm like, holy cow! And I'm like, is this thing use premium? And so I'm sitting here trying to. They don't have the book in the car. Trying to Google the car, but there's no internet. And I'm sitting here. There's nothing like on the gas tank. There's nothing like no indicator that this car uses premium. And so I was sitting here trying to figure this out. And as I'm like sitting on my phone trying with the trap, the car door open, the gas door open, a lady comes up to me and like she asked if we can help. And I'd seen her over there, they were having issues, and anyways, but she came straight to me. I guess I have one of those faces, and she asked if we could help. And in that particular moment, um, what are the odds that I would be at that gas station? Like, I'm from Georgia. I flew into LA. I drove from LA to wherever that was in the middle of a desert, it felt like. And in that exact moment, somebody needed help. And so I was like, nope, I didn't want her to explain this because I don't, people don't need to explain needing help to me. Right. I don't feel like you should have to, if you need help, just ask for help. I'm the worst person about asking for help, by the way. So, listen there. But
it
yes.
it
So
takes a lot to swallow your pride and ask for help,
yeah,
and that's something that I love about Dustin and honestly our team, because our team knows when someone has to go through those hurdles and shed all of that pride to be able to just be vulnerable enough to ask for help. It's not something that in this day and age we're really trained to do. And
or
at that,
encouraged for
or
that matter.
encouraged at that level of vulnerability, are you're open to ridicule, you're open to being exploited, you're open to being rejected. And that's scary. That's really, really scary.
But so like, I don't ask questions. I just do it. And so anyway, I walked over to the her gas pump, and I just swiped my card and walked back to my car. And I finally figured out what the gas was supposed to be. I swiped my card. I fill the gas tank up. I see what the price is. I get in the car and I went, oh, that was a Silverado 1500. So
It's just a
it
little
was
bit
not a
bigger.
small gift. I'm sure. I don't think I ever actually went and looked to see how much it was, but
That's that vulnerability on the other side of the fence.
right, and that says something to being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Some, like, I'm going to throw that out there. I'm not saying that every person who asks for help out there is whatever
And that
whatever.
that person, I wasn't there. I mean, I was in the car, but I wasn't part of the conversation. But even in the moment when you shared it with me immediately, I didn't feel like she was taking advantage of you. I think
No,
she generally was.
she had like a teenager in the front seat of the truck, and again, I've there's been times, I'm sure, where I've been taken advantage of, but it's not the point really, right? Like, it's that I did what I did, you know. So, anyways, it was funny because of the realizing that was a Silverado 1500 that was out of gas.
And then he realized that California gas stations put, like, I don't know, a ridiculous hold on your card.
Oh yeah, that was another fun one. Yeah, so if you ever travel trip or travel announcement. Like, the whole West Coast holds their they do holds on everything, and they hold it for like the maximum amount they can. So like, I believe about halfway through the trip, I had to switch credit cards simply because there were so many holds from, like, stopping to get gas, stopping at Walmart to get supplies, like, everywhere had a hold on it. So for more than the price, and it was crazy. So I mean, like, the hotels, the holds they do lasted for 7 days. It was crazy. Just travel awareness tip: if you decide to go up the West Coast, be pre- be prepared for the holds. So, say again.
Take a look at our internal chat.
Ah, I have been told.
So I remember I was in my early 20s and they built a racetrack in my hometown. And the first time, I was tight on money between paychecks, working in a lower paying hourly job. Um, Racetrack put a $75 hold on my debit card for what ended up being like a $10 gas bill because they pre-authorize whatever their higher end is going to be. It doesn't matter what you end up pumping. They usually don't take the extra effort or consideration to adjust that. They just, let it sit there. Um, so that's something that in our platform we are very insistent upon is considering every situation along the way. If you're pledging towards a campaign for something that you might really need or really want, or something that could be life changing for you, but you don't have the ability to save for it, let's be frank, nobody really has the ability to save for much right now. Um, you know, that means that you're not going to really have the ability to have those funds on hold in your bank account for however long it might be until that campaign reaches the goal. So, when we started building this platform, that's something that we were solid on, is that we were not going to, if we could help it at all, we were not going to put funds on hold just so we could secure payment information for a future pledge. And, brainstorming through everything, because one of the questions we had today, we ran errands, and one of the professionals we ran into today was like, how do you think of this? It's brand new. It works differently than anything else out there. And she was fascinated by it. And just putting everything that we know from all our different experiences together, and then learning new things and constantly researching and going down rabbit holes. You find out things like when you authorize a transaction, you get an authorization number, but you can authorize a transaction for $0 or something like that. Dustin will probably jump in and tell me I'm wrong. But
You're wrong.
yeah,
She's
I'm
actually
wrong.
right. She's got it. She's
But
totally on
you
point.
can also get an authorization for an amount and then go back and change it. And there's no real benefit to the merchant to go back and change the amount if it ends up being a lower amount, right? So that's what happened at Racetrack, is they put $75 on hold, but maybe I only pumped $15. There was no reason for them to go back and change the authorization amount. When they batch processed the card, they just put it in for $15. It was a whole nother step in the process that they had no incentive to fix. We don't necessarily have an incentive, but we do understand what it's like to be that customer that really only has $15 in your account. And if you put $75 on hold, maybe your rent will bounce. Like, it happens a lot, especially lately. There's a lot of my social posts lately. There's housing insecurities. There's the job market is absolutely horrible right now. People don't know how they're going to eat next payday because all of their money's got to go towards their bills. And now, SNAP and food benefits might probably will be gone as early as, a week or two from now. So what happens? And that's not even if there's an accident, a tree falls on your car, or you find something suspicious health wise, or, anything, right? What what do you do in those circumstances? And that is happening so often that it takes something like this Imagifund level thought and processes and platform to be able to create a system that allows us to help each other in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, I want to throw this in there too. So, again, we have our the direct impact campaigns, and that is not approved by marketing, so it may be changed. But it's what I'm going to call them because it makes sense to me. Our standard campaigns and a lot of what the platform's around is everything that Jessica just said is absolutely true, which means that people don't really have a lot to look forward to. And so, while a lot of other platforms put emphasis on what could be, right, like Kickstarter, and focused on helping people that are in a tight spot like GoFundMe, no one really puts an emphasis on what I think Jessica calls essential luxuries. I think you call it, honey. It's a weird concept, but like these are the things that we really kind of, and I say this, but the American dream was built around like the promise that we could have not just, live, but thrive. And, and I come from a place of where, you don't have the money, you don't do it. That's what my background is. That's how I grew up. That's how my great grandfather, you know, you don't spend money you don't have, and that's life. Deal with it.
So I want to jump in here because Dustin and I have a difference of opinion when it comes to what is an essential luxury. Because for me, an essential luxury is an oil change. Because when you got to put food on the table, when you've got kids coming in and asking for, you know, XYZ dollars so they can participate at school, I love my kids more than my car, so this makes sense to me. So that 3,000 mile or 5,000 mile recommended oil change difference, you know, as long as I don't go over 2x, it's probably okay, right?
Oh my lord, the
But
number of times I've gotten that car on
honestly,
empty.
how many now, well, you're talking about gas, and that's that's a whole nother conversation because I know how many miles I can go, but I'm talking about the oil
You could
change.
start a religion on what you believe on that number of miles to
First
empty.
of all, we wouldn't
Her
call it a
belief,
religion.
her belief in the gauge saying you have X number of miles until you're out of gas is is one of the strongest faiths I've ever seen in my life.
I will it to the next gas station. I did that one time and it was a 0 miles to empty.
And be clear, it's not a money thing. It's like I don't know what it is.
It's efficiency.
Oh boy, all the mechanics in here. In the future, if there's a mechanic that comes in here, please explain to my wife why you should not drive your car to empty because she doesn't believe me.
Now, my dad, I love him to pieces, just recently told me that I should not top off my gas station because that pushes the sludge from the bottom to the top. So that makes sense. It also takes a little bit longer and it's messy because it drips more. But
So,
oil changes, oil changes going twice the life. Like if it says 3,000 miles, I'll go 6,000. And then I'm like, okay, we really need to get the oil changed now.
but I
That's enough wiggle room for me. And right now, I mean, I really would like to do a poll on our Facebook page or one of our socials. Angela, if we could do that. I want to know how much over the recommendation for the next oil change people go before they actually see it as a essential purchase versus
how
a
many emails
luxury.
from your dealership do you have to get saying that you haven't gotten your oil
The
changed before
people
you
that
actually
I'm
go?
talking about don't get emails from dealerships because they go to XYZ oil change mom and pop place that may or may not change the oil filter each time. So
It just occurred to me. Have you gotten your emissions done?
it's my birthday.
We'll deal with that. That sounds like a
Mm.
tomorrow Jessica problem. Anyways, getting back on the topic, you really she
I
highlighted it.
technically have until the end of the month, I think.
Nope. So technically, so what she was saying though is a
Now
behavior.
you're making me paranoid.
Yeah.
What's the D&D? What's the anxiety, paranoia? My okay. So total aside, my
Squirrel.
D&D character is a baker bard, and her it's up in the cantrips, and it's the did you leave your oven on? What's that one called? Instead of it's vicious mockery, I've turned it into vicious anxiety. That's
Oh,
what it
there you
is.
go. Yeah.
Like vicious paranoia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks. You
You have
just threw that
disadvantage on all
cantrip.
future conversations until it
Yep,
answers.
yep. So the
Okay.
rest of this live is going to be so much fun.
So essential luxuries. She what she highlighted there was is in her mind. She has to make these choices because we do budget, right? So trying to stay inside those budgets. So she sacrifices some things for other things. Not really, but get my point. A lot of people have to sacrifice like that, like you know what I mean. And I mean that in the sense of they just don't get the oil change, or they don't get the headlights done, or they can't. And so there's a lot more of that going on, and I fear there will be a lot more of it going on in the near future. But what a point I'm trying to get to is that this isn't just about like GoFundMe's, and it's not concept. It's there are things that people would like to be able to look forward to, like going to a fight, and it's about putting the inspiration to be able to like dream about doing things that are beyond your means. Because I mean, that is definitely something our whole country was built on, more than what we currently have. What can we have? And you know, it's definitely something that I believe there's a segment, I would say, where there's a space between the um, GoFundMe and the Kickstarter, I would say, and that's where we're trying to reside. So the direct support campaigns would be us. This is something we as a community want to directly support, and we will see more of those as we grow. With the ability to give back more into the community. One of the things that Todd Price did was he paid off school lunches. Um, you know, uh, if you didn't know this, there's the annual school lunch debt is something like $200 million a year,
How what kind of area are we talking for that number?
national.
So all of the United States, all 50 states and however many of the provinces and
Yeah, it's an average. So, I mean, some states it's all goes down to district, but the average. I mean, there isn't really a good reporting mechanism for it, which is kind of sad. But the average is it's something like 160 million to 250 million.
I'm
But
going to call you on that because there's not a real good reporting system. I have what is it, class I don't even remember the icons of leaf, whatever.
there's no
It, it's it's a
public reporting
platform that
system.
tells me how much my kids owe
Yeah,
and how what their balance is on their school lunch, and we prepay a certain amount, but
yeah,
it's
it's vicious.
kids be expensive, man.
It's vicious. Yeah, like it's very vicious. Um, and that I can only imagine if you were in a place where you didn't have it.
Yeah.
Um, and
Well, and when my kids were little and a happy meal or a kids meal was more than enough to feed them, they wouldn't finish it. And as a mom, I would just eat their leftovers. You're in an incognito window right now.
yeah, I was trying to pull up the actual. I can't pull up my notes so I can actually show the chart in the cognito window. So
I'm
whatever.
sorry.
It's unfortunate. But anyways, yeah. So the whole point of me saying that was, um, you know, um, that's like a large term goal for me. So if you want to look how
Is
big I'm looking
to
at, I'm
pay off
looking
the
at wanting
school
to pay
lunch
off
debt for
$200 million, and
every kid in America.
like that's my goal. Like that's my first goal, I would say. And I'm sure there are a lot of other causes out there. That's something I would support within the community. Um,
I saw a creator today that was like, "How do you know um how do you know people are getting food, or how do you know people aren't getting food?" There are few food insecurities left and right in this country right now. And there's a really easy way to tell because my kids' daycare just opened a food bank in their lobby.
yep.
Like the even a couple years ago, I remember a creator that shared it was a teacher, their classroom, they have a closet where you can take hygiene products, canned food, whatever. And they expected, kids to take deodorant because they forget it, or maybe a toothbrush because theirs isn't in any shape to use. But they were taking socks and they were taking canned food beyond what they would be able to eat themselves in a day. And, she would respectfully ask, not prying really, but, just making sure. Is there something else that you need differently, or are you actually eating all this? And they were kind of bashful and shared that they were basically feeding their family, siblings, parents, out of the teacher's gift closet.
I remember actually during COVID, I was single during COVID, um, but I remember during COVID, my aunt, I want to say, she works in early childhood education planning, like admin type level. But I vaguely want to say there was a conversation that came up about, they were delivering food, to kids essentially, and there was some concern around whether or not the kids were actually getting the food. Like, and obviously this was during COVID, but it continued afterwards. And that conversation didn't go away because we stopped thinking about COVID, right? So I know that there have been some influencers, sorry, that have talked about maybe we need to have school days go into lunch or dinner, just so that you can cover lunch and dinner. But then the other side of that is now it's more expensive.
Well,
So
let me tell you, I know that they work very very hard at public schools, especially to make sure that they can feed a nutritious meal to the kids. But during COVID, they had a come, you know, to this drive-through at this school on this day, and we'll throw a couple of bags of lunches in your trunk. You know, and it was the food that would have been going bad at the school because they'd ordered it ahead of time. So they have all of this product that they can't serve before it's going to go bad at the end of the school year, or the the kitchen gets renovated or what have you. Well, I remember getting excited because I remember from my school days the Chick-fil-A or chicken fillet sandwiches. Do you remember those, Dustin? The
yeah,
chicken fillet sandwiches from our days were really good, right? They weren't like your Chick-fil-A now. They were breaded, but they were a meat patty. They were pretty good. The chicken fillet biscuits that we got in that school lunch food drive-through during COVID, I think the biscuits must have been laced with concrete, um, and maybe like I don't even like gray paint. I don't know how they got that taste and color, and
they broke out the
it was
World War II
really bad.
rations.
And the chicken, I don't know how it could be defined as chicken. Like,
Where are you going with this?
I'm just sharing. This is that part where I share people.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Our producer is saying we should get back on topic. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Angela, thank you. Um, so I think
But
what I was trying to say earlier is this platform isn't just about hard luck, like the hard luck cases, the where people are having a hard time or something wrong has happened. The whole point of this is so that there can also be something to look forward to, and that's what the that's why we have the charitables, and then we have the competition. The competition's also there to bring people in. You on GoFundMe or one of the other platforms. I don't know how often I think once there's a limit how many times I can say other people's platforms, but there's nothing after you give, right? Like you give, it helps. End of interaction, more
well,
or
on
less.
Kickstarter, you do have the follow through when you have a legitimate campaign.
Maybe
You have the follow through of communication
right.
on what they're building and the prototypes and the all of that. But
But you don't. you don't connect individually, right?
Mm-mm.
Like with the other people that are involved, like the other pledgers. And that's part of what the competitions are for. Is it's not just about winning the prize. I mean, obviously, winning the prize is great, but it's also about getting people involved. And like if you were on our if you followed our last live stream, it is a lot of fun. You get involved. You remember people's handles. You remember how they play. You remember how much they play. It creates a space for us to connect, and that is an important part of what we're trying to do. And as we grow it, it'll become more of a playground. Is the best way I can put it. Is that's we want to have a place where we can help each other. We can build something that gives back, that makes a difference, and that we can play together, essentially, and build that community back and that connection. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, it sounded really good in my head. So,
All right, so we are coming up a little bit over an hour of streaming. I know we haven't been actually broadcasting and talking for an hour, but we have 5 pledges so far. We've raised almost a third of the goal. Um, we did have a sponsorship for this campaign, so the prize has been um, covered by a company named Bissy, and that means that all of the pledges on this campaign, whether or not it reaches the goal, all of them are going to go towards the Mooney family. And that is just so everyone that has pledged so far, we really, really appreciate it. And originally, we had scheduled for the live auction to go tonight, but we did push that back so we could hopefully collect some more pledges for this family. So, absolutely like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell thing in the corner, notify of anytime we go live. The the platform is now live. You can go in, you can pledge, you'll get points for your pledge. You sit on those points, wait for a campaign for something that you might be more interested in, but you're helping this cause, kind of thing. So, you know, it now is the time. We do have from one of our beta testing groups or small group testing before we launched, we do have a winner from one of those campaigns, the test campaigns, that won some pledge tokens, bid tokens. Um, so we'll have some people like that doing things. We'll also, on our social media channels, we might be doing giveaways for bid tokens and things like that. So make sure you follow us. We are on Facebook, TikTok, obviously YouTube, Instagram, and probably more. But the most important thing is that you share the campaigns when you see them and keep checking in with us because we're going to be constantly coming up with opportunities. Anytime we see something that could be a good fit for our community, it might be an opportunity for us to run a campaign. Eventually, we'll get to where we're running multiple simultaneously. We have, 20, 30, 50 campaigns running at one time. We'll get there. But right now, share this one. Anybody that you know in the Atlanta area, anybody that you know that would be interested in supporting this family. Um, we love our community, but we would love our community if it grew even more.
so yeah, one thing I wanted to throw in there, as part of that, if you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see
Mm-hmm.
as prizes, you can go on the Facebook and you can send us a message. We do have systems and processes in place within the system, which we haven't introduced yet. As we start getting more activity, we'll start exposing those essentially. Um, but right now, info@imagifund.com. You can go onto Facebook, send us anything you're looking for. And we're going into holiday seasons. So if there's something that you would like to see for a prize, be it a item or an experience, like Disney World or whatever, um, let us know so we can start putting that together. If you know of any causes that come up, and again, I'm going to go back to this is a direct impact campaign. Um, we also are looking for fixed charitable causes, like if there's a school project or a community project or something that's going on that has a fixed amount associated with it. We would like to bring that in, essentially, and pair it with a prize. And as Jessica said, you want to get involved, message us. We are a small group and we want to grow big. So we're big on bringing people in. There's plenty to do. I promise you.
I know, especially with the food resources going away beginning in November, we will definitely be doing campaigns for food banks, for soup kitchens, for shelters, things like that. And those would probably be paired with grocery, gift cards or something along that line. So be on the lookout for that. Those will be helpful and they'll be flexible so that if you do win that that grocery budget, we can adjust that and send it to your local grocery store. If you've got a chain that doesn't exist where we are familiar with them, we can definitely make those adjustments and things. So
Also, businesses. I
yeah,
forgot to say
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Any businesses out there that are looking for ways to give back to the community, to promote to the community, like so, it doesn't just have to be sponsorships. This is another way to get involved with the community at a very basic level. We just happen to have a sponsor for this campaign, but the model is about bringing the opportunity forward and engaging with the community. So if any business owners out there or people who know business owners that are looking for a way to reach out and connect with the community, um, that's we're looking to partner with anyone and everyone, the community directly, the businesses in the communities,
Going into
everything.
Christmas, there's a toy shop that we ran into and got stuff for our nephews on our road trip. Something like that would be perfect. They could have a gift certificate campaign and give back to Toys for Tots or some defects offices that, serve the kids that come into the system after the Toys for Tots applications close, so on and so forth. So if you've got ideas, we want to hear them. Reach out on social media, email. Our website has a contact us form. If you know us personally, just be like, hey, I've got an idea, and we'll listen.
We're here, like 100%. If you have questions, if you have doubts, if you have doubts that are, you know, more aggressive, we we want to hear them. 100%. Like we are here to to make this happen in every facet. I can promise you, there's most likely not questions that you we haven't been asked. That's the best way I'm going to put that. So,
So, on that note, just a reminder to share the campaign, boost as much of that reach as you can with us this week. Um, the next 24 hours is pledging for that. And tomorrow evening, we will be doing the auction. So, one of the people that pledged will win the package. So, and look on our social medias for an announcement later on, maybe this weekend, on how much we're able to give back to the Mooney family. Um,
tomorrow, just want to throw in there, tomorrow night, the auction has been pushed back to 8, just so more people have an
that's
opportunity to.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Correct. So pledging will stop at 7:40 p.m. Eastern time.
So make sure you get those pledges in before you sit down to get ready for dinner or before you sit down to eat dinner, and be ready because that auction is going to go live. And the very few people that are pledging so far right now are the only ones that can participate. So don't miss out. This is $1,000 package deal for the NFC fight on Friday. And I'm so excited to see whoever wins and what type of great experience they have. That's gonna be really cool for them.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll probably we probably shouldn't be saying we'll probably start streaming, but we'll start about an hour before I would say the auction. Does that sound about right? An hour.
Um,
Marketing team.
Marketing team would like to remind you that we have a child who has a concert tomorrow. So we will probably be streaming for a very short time tomorrow.
Anyways, I'll let
Probably
I'll talk with the
probably
marketing team.
streaming from 7:30 to 8:30 Eastern if I had to guess.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. See you guys later.
All right, good night guys.